Hi, my name is Amir McBride. I'm a type 1 diabetic, diagnosed at the age of 5. I'm currently 12 years old. Type 1 diabetes is a chronic illness where the pancreas produces little to no insulin. Symptoms include frequent urination, intense mood changes, and increased thirst and hunger. Treatment for diabetes includes using a medically prescribed insulin pen to keep your blood glucose in check, or when you get your blood sugars under control, you can use a medically prescribed pump that will automatically give you insulin when you're high or low. Diabetic ketoacidosis is a condition where the blood sugar levels go beyond normal levels and require increased insulin and has a risk of the diabetic being hospitalized. Hypoglycemia is the opposite, where the blood levels go under normal and the diabetic requires increased carb intake. Normal levels include 80 through 120 for someone about my age. Having type 1 diabetes is just like living a normal life. You just have to monitor your blood glucose levels and take insulin whenever you eat. Foods diabetics might need to stay away from include more bread foods, pasta, more sugary foods, and just food with more carbs in general, like grains and fruits. Foods that diabetics are recommended to eat are low-carb foods like meat and vegetables. Carb reading includes checking the nutrition values on the foods you eat to give yourself an amount of insulin to keep your blood glucose levels under control. Ways to check your blood level, your sugar levels, is using a prescribed monitor to check them, or using one that automatically consistently checks your blood sugars called the Dexcom. Dexcom is a device that goes around a user's body and automatically and consistently reads their blood sugars and works in tandem with the pump that reads the blood sugars from the Dexcom to give insulin to the diabetic. I use the Dexcom in the pump. The pump is attached to my body from a cord that gives the insulin, and the Dexcom is a wireless device that goes on my arms or my stomach most of the time. The pump has helped me out and got my blood sugars under control a lot more than they used to be. When I was younger and didn't have my blood sugar levels under control, I would be in the hospital a lot for days, weeks. If you don't have a pump, you use a medically prescribed monitor to check your blood glucose levels and use an insulin pen and inject it yourself in a location such as your stomach, your legs, or your arm. From the time I was 5 years old to the time I was about 10, every meal I had to prick my finger and give myself insulin 3 times a day for every meal. One of the other things I did that happened was I had to go to the nurse's office every day at school, and it felt really time consuming. Now that I had to pump because my blood sugar is under control, I don't have a need to go to the nurse's office anymore. There's an organization called JDRF that raises money every year and has a walk to find a cure for type 1 diabetes. My family runs a team that raises money to donate to the JDRF for type 1 diabetes. We also run a business called Keto Cafe that makes keto desserts for diabetics or just people looking to keep their carb count low. I wish to be a cook one day and own the company. Other interests I have includes electronics and technology, gaming, and all the pieces and parts inside of the computer and other devices. I can do everything other kids can do, but I cannot eat as much as them and must keep check of my blood glucose levels. But overall, it's just like being normal. You just have to take medicine a lot.
Hi, my name's Aisha Boyd. I am the mother of Amir McBride. He was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 5. Right before he started kindergarten, we started seeing some different symptoms with him that wasn't normal. One, he started asking for a lot of water. Even would get up in the middle of the night and ask for water. He also asked for more food, different snacks throughout the day. He was also potty trained by the age of 2, but was urinating more and more and wetting the bed. So bedwetting was also the biggest sign that we noticed that something was wrong. I thought it was just because I was giving more water and he was asking for more water and drinking a lot more, but he started to look pale and wasn't, during activities, would be inactive, get more tired and restless. So his kindergarten checkup, within that same week, it was his kindergarten checkup, and we took him to the doctor and we told him about all our symptoms that was different. They ended up checking his sugar right then, and we had to go straight to the hospital. At the hospital, they ended up telling us that he was type 1 diabetic and all the things that we would have to do to treat him. One, checking his glucose, pricking his finger frequently, like throughout the day, when he wake up in the morning, before every meal, even before he went to sleep at night. They also gave me insulin pens with just pens, tubes, vials with insulin in it that injected into the body that was, easier than a vial and needle. So they taught us how to count carbs. Carbohydrates has sugar in it, and it breaks down into sugar in the body. So we had to learn how to count carbs to cover the amount of sugar that was going in his body. We had to cover it with insulin because his pancreas did not produce insulin at all. So every day we would prick his finger at least 5 times a day. It was a rough toll because he was so high, we had to get him down to that normal range. I think when we got there, he was over 700. We had to get him down to the normal range of 80 to 120. So for a couple of years, we would be in and out the hospital, high blood sugars. We never had too many low blood sugars. Low blood sugars, you would have to, the patient can, or the person, the diabetic could pass out, and you would have to put insulin in them to help them wake up with an emergency pen. Luckily, we have never had to use his emergency pen, but he has definitely been in the hospital for high blood sugars, and that's from not controlling the amount of carbs going within the body, not giving enough insulin to cover the carbs, or forgetting doses, moving around, not taking the doses when it was needing to be taken. So within the past couple of years, we've been working close with his diabetic team. And they're pretty good, really good. We started to manage them a lot better, where we got them down to levels that was between 1 and 200, which is pretty normal for him. And then they gave us this device called the Dexcom. The Dexcom helps because it's connected to you, and we can connected to our phone. It's digital, so it can read his blood sugar. It can send the numbers to my phone. And to the doctor. So every sugar that is picking up, it'll go to his phone, my phone, and the doctor's charts. So they can see exactly what his numbers are running in the trends. So the Dexcom helped us know when he was high. It'll alert us when he's high. It'll alert us when he's low, even while he sleeps. So after we got them controlled a lot more with the Dexcom, we were able to get the insulin pump. So together, the pump and the Dexcom is connected to his body, and the Dexcom tells the pump what his blood sugars are, and the pump then puts the insulin within him because it's in a cartilage connected to his body. So that helps manage it. So when the system sees that he's going high, instead of us having to check it whenever it's time to eat, it's automatically giving insulin. So even at night, when he wakes up and he hasn't given himself any doses, that pump automatically gives insulin throughout the night. So he's been pretty normal. He can still swim. Even with the Dexcom and the insulin pump attached, he can still swim. He can still play sports. He can still participate in outdoor activities or any type of activities like a normal kid. So with a child with type 1 diabetes, Diabetes Awareness Month is important to me because it lets other people know or be aware of this disease. A lot of kids, childhood kids, have diabetes, and they go to school with other children and they have questions, or they don't know exactly why this kid can't eat candy or why this kid can't participate in some things. So it lets us promote and let other people know, like, okay, well, this is a disease that affects children and affects adults. It affects people, and you know, this is what's happening with them. This is how you can help. This is what you can look out for if you see them suffering, and if they're not feeling good, you can find out, like, okay, well, this child has this going on and we need to do this to fix it. It's also important to me because I want, my child to go to school or go to any community event and people know that, okay, it's normal. A lot of people have diabetes and it's a disease we can live with, and we can also help find a cure or help scientists find a cure by donating. So every year we donate and participate in JDRF One Walk. JDRF is a nonprofit organization that raises money to help find a cure for type 1 diabetes. Our team is Team Amir Sadiq, and we raise money. You can go online to jdrf.org. If you search hashtag Team Amir Sadiq, you could donate or you could participate in our walk every year. And the donation goes towards scientists helping find a cure for type 1 diabetes. 6 months ago, I started a business called Keto Cafe. It's a bakery that makes keto desserts. Keto desserts are lower in carbs and higher in fats. Since he can't particularly enjoy desserts all the time, we make these desserts carb-free or as less carbs as possible. It helps with anybody's health. So even if you're not diabetic or you're watching your weight, or you have epilepsy, you can eat a keto diet and it's less in carbs and higher in fat, and it could, the sweets, the desserts taste just as good as a normal dessert. So if you're interested, you can go to jdrf.org and donate year-round. We particularly do it more in the fall, but you can donate year-round. We just like to get people aware of type 1 diabetes, some of these childhood diseases that kids are suffering from, and help find a cure. So, you know, they don't have to live with that disease forever.